Hello to my true crime community. Welcome in tonight. I wanted to do some conversation and deep dive into Tyler Robinson. He is the accused shooter who killed Charlie Kirk. So I first wanted to start by talking a little bit about who is Tyler? What do we know about him? So we're going to kick it off here, letting people kind of join in. I went a few moments early, but that is not a problem. We are going to have open conversation tonight. Please feel free to express your opinions and be kind to one another in the comment section. Obviously, this is a very controversial case that we're talking about. So with that said, let's just, always be mindful to be respectful to each other. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of pull this up so we can take a look. This is the day the shooting happened. This is the picture that the parents saw on television. Mom immediately calls her husband and says, "This looks like Tyler, doesn't it?" And the dad agreed. So they called Tyler and kind of gauged conversation. There were some text messages back and forth where Tyler told his parents that he felt homesick. We will definitely get to those here shortly, but let's talk a little bit about who Tyler is. So Tyler James Robinson was born April 16th of 2003. Gosh, does that make me feel old? That's when I graduated high school. He's from Washington, Utah, and he is the oldest of 3 brothers. And he was in an apprenticeship program at Dixie Technical College. I have never heard of this. Apparently, he attended Utah State University for 1 semester, but then he decided to drop out, which is a little interesting because we all know that Charlie Kirk is not a fan of college. He has openly said he thought college was a scam. So it'd be interesting to know why Tyler decided to drop out, and maybe we will start to hear a little more about that from family soon. His family members are members of Christ of Jesus King Latter-day Saints. Many of you may have heard earlier reports of him, being Mormon and thinking, what happened? What went wrong here? So Tyler was arrested 33 hours after the shooting that occurred in Utah. And here are the charges he's facing. If you didn't take a look at that press conference, we can play a little bit about it. He is charged with aggravated murder, felony discharge of firearms causing serious bodily injury, obstruction of justice, that's 2 counts, witness tampering, and we'll get to that, what that means. That has something to do with the roommate, and committing violent offenses in front of the presence of a child. They took that very seriously, you guys, that there were children in attendance. And I'm curious, what your thoughts are so far. They have decided that they are going to go ahead and they're going to seek the death penalty in this case. So it's going to be interesting. Do you think that Tyler Robinson is going to plead guilty and we will not have a trial? Or do you think he may have an insanity defense? Do you think that he will say it wasn't me? Do you think he will say I wasn't a part of it? So with that, I do want to kind of get to those text messages in a moment because we have a problem. There's text messages. There's alleged text messages that he was having a romantic relationship with his roommate who was actually transitioning from male to female. And this roommate has cooperated with investigators and handed over some of these text messages and explained what they said. If you did not check out that video, I do have it. We can pull it up right here on my YouTube page and take a look at it. Give me one moment, you guys. Hope you guys are all doing well tonight. What I'll do is I will actually read the text messages to you, but you can absolutely go to my video and I do have those out there. So actually, I will pull them up on the screen for you if you hang tight. Just one moment for me. All right. You know what? I'll use this page. It'll make it a lot easier. Stand by. We're going to share my screen. And we're going to take a look at these text messages. All right, guys. So just checking to make sure that I bring this up to the stage so we can take a look. I wish I could make myself smaller. Let's see if I can do that for you. If that's any better. Yeah, I think that's a little better. Okay, let's do this. So, September 10th, Tyler texts the roommate, drop what you're doing and look under my keyboard. The roommate obviously looks under the keyboard and finds a handwritten note from Tyler. And it says, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. So, imagine roommate grabbing this letter and reading it like, what? Right? Okay. Texts him back and says, what? You're joking, right? And Tyler replies, I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Ormy, I think it is, for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta go grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this a secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you. And the roommate replies, you weren't the one who did it, right? And Tyler just says, I am. I'm sorry. And the roommate says, I thought they caught the person. And Tyler replies, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from the drop point shortly after, but some of that side of the town was locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. And the question the roommate asks is, why? And Tyler says, why did I do it? Yeah, asks the roommate. Tyler's response is, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out, and if I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. I'm going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they've moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. And then the roommate asks, how long have you been planning this? Tyler says, a bit over a week, I believe. So here we are having some evidence that shows premeditation. Tyler didn't go off the handle in a rage. He wasn't at the rally and all of a sudden went and flew into this rage. He was planning this for over a week. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. See how focused he is on this rifle? It's almost like he's detached from reality. And I think we all saw the shooting, right? And I'm sure he probably looked in his scope at the aftermath and also probably went online and watched it himself. And how nonchalantly he's talking in this text message is mind-blowing to me. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got out of my vehicle. I'm worried that my old man would do it if I didn't. Oh, I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints that I left. I'm worried about prints that I had to leave in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it, and I hope they don't find prints. But how the fuck will I explain losing it to my old man? He's concerned about the rifle. Only thing left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does pretty fine. I don't know. I think it was a 2K scope. Look at how nonchalant he is. And you notice the roommate at this point has not replied back. He's probably already on the phone with authorities, right? Or driving down to the police station. Sorry about that. Delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. And the feds released a photo of the rifle. And it's very unique. He's calling me right now. Not answering. Since Trump got into office, my dad's been pretty much a diehard MAGA. Sorry. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors is here. He's the deputy for the sheriff. You're all I worry about, love. And the roommate finally replies and says, I'm much more worried about you. And Tyler says, this is his last text message before turning himself in. Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. Well, as we know, the roommate did speak to authorities. So good on him. Kudos to him. Kudos to the father in this case as well. He went forth and turned his son in. That had to be really hard to do. There is something I also wanted to share with you guys in connection to this case. Just about an hour ago, I'm going to bring this up. Turning point, made a decision, and I'm going to read this on my phone, just kind of look at it and highlight it. Turning Point made a decision to name Erica Kirk the CEO, and the board, the chair of the board for Turning Point. I think we all saw this coming, right? I don't know. Maybe they thought someone else would do it. I'm a little shocked that the announcement came so soon. I'm just trying to see if there's kind of anything. I'll give you kind of a quote in here. And it says, as Charlie always said, we have a country to save. We will not surrender or kneel before evil. We will carry on. The attempt to destroy Charlie's work will become our chance to make it more powerful and enduring than ever before. May God bless Erica, the Kirk family, and the entire team of Turning Point. So I think we all kind of expected that to happen. If you didn't catch it last night, I was live with Kelly from What's the Obsession, and we spoke a little bit about this case. We spoke about Erica's speech. Curious what your feedback is on that speech. Luke says, all the information I have on this case is from my sweetheart. So is this kind of a case that the two of you are talking about and discussing? It is a very interesting case. I do want to show you guys that Tyler was involved with a Discord channel, and this was a channel where he actually knew people and had connections with people, some of the people he was in school with as a young child. I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of these posts. I'm so sorry, you guys. I have a scratchy, dry throat today. So Tyler allegedly used his Discord account, at least, leaving one message, and it said, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." And then it appears he sent that roughly 2 hours before he was arrested and turned himself in. And there's reports that this group chat joked that his doppelganger was one of the, FBI images released. They were kind of just saying, "Oh, this guy looks like you," joking around. Well, then it ended up actually, allegedly being Tyler. Tyler allegedly admitted to doing it in the Discord messages. Discord denies that Tyler planned the shooting using the platform. They deny that he used it to promote violence. Apparently, they said, these were just normal kind of chatting conversation. The account has since been removed, obviously for violating its off-platform behavior policy. You are able to go check that out for yourself if you do want to take a look at that. I'm going to pull something up here for you as well that we can take a look at, so I can give my voice a short break for a second. And what we're going to do is take a look at that first appearance video. Some of you may not have seen that, and I think it is important to take a look at it. Where are you guys watching from today? Just while I'm getting this prepared, I'm curious. This video is under my shorts. If you decide, oh my gosh, that sounds so silly. This is under my shorts. This is under the short section on my YouTube channel if you decide that you want to go watch it later. So let's find this video. Why am I having such a hard time finding it? Sorry for the dead air, you guys. Usually I would be talking, but my throat is scratched. Okay. We're going to watch this off of Court TV, actually, but I do have this. I just can't find it at the moment. So let us take Tyler down, and we will bring up that first appearance, and we will take a look at it here together if it's the first time you're watching it. And thank you for all of you who are just joining in. Lots of good content going on about this case. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. Let's get this video on this screen. Bear with me all. Okay.
Today, at the conclusion of the hearing, for the first case, the court will take a recess and remind all those who are scheduled for the first appearance calendar to log back in 15 minutes after the court has taken a recess. As a general note, no electronic usage is allowed unless pre-approved. Any disruptions will be removed. To the jail, are we ready to proceed?
I do want to make a comment about what you just said, Charlotte. You feel like the FBI is protecting Twigs. There is something definitely going on. I think you just joined in while we were reading the text messages, but let me know if I'm wrong. There's a text message that says, "Remember when I was engraving the bullets?" It makes me think that Tyler was doing that at home. A lot of people think maybe having a laser engraver is a really big deal. It's not. I have one myself. I actually engraved this coaster today. I will tell you what, though, I would never engrave a bullet with my laser engraver. That would be dangerous. But you could engrave in several different ways. This is engraving on wood. He could have maybe used like a Dremel or something along those lines to do this. But I definitely agree. There is something fishy. How much did Twigs know before the arrest? And were some of these text messages a cover-up and acting like he didn't know what was going on? Could he have etched with a knife? Absolutely. I agree that it doesn't have to be an actual laser engraver like the one I'm talking about, where it's a machine where I program it and put the object in and it engraves. Can't wait to see the evidence photos when they come out to see what this looked like.
Yes, Your Honor.
Calling case 251-403 576, State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Graff. Mr. Scortis.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. You're probably already aware of my presence or why I'm here, but if not, I am not entering an appearance. I'm not counsel on this case. I'm working with the county to get counsel assigned, but we need you to allow for the appointment of counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Scortis. I want to go through the qualifications
Absolutely.
for indigency, but that is my intent, Mr. Scortis.
Very well.
And I thank you for being here. So, Mr. Robinson, you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court can appoint an attorney to represent you. I have reviewed your declaration of financial status and find that you are indigent. I'm provisionally appointing a Rule 8 qualified attorney to represent you on your case, Mr. Robinson. Along with their filing of their appearance of counsel, the assigned attorneys must file declarations with the court that outline their qualifications under Rule 8 and Rule 8C. Under Rule 8B and Rule 8C for counsel appointment in a case where death may be a sentencing option. I'm ordering that those declarations be filed prior to the next hearing date, which is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. Mr. Robinson, I also wish to inform you of your right against self-incrimination. Anything that you say in court today could be used against you, and we want to protect your constitutional rights. Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail. Mr. Scortis, is there any other points that you wish to address?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Turning to the state.
Yes, Your Honor, Chad Grunander for the state. I'm also joined, and they're listed as attendees, Ryan McBride, Lauren Hunt, David Sturgill, and Chris Ballard. We are the trial team on this case. I do have a few points I'd like to bring up with Your Honor. We have filed a pretrial protective order on behalf of Erica Kirk. We would ask the court to review that. It should be in your queue, Your Honor, and sign that.
Thank you. I have reviewed the pretrial protective order and will be issuing this pretrial protective order in favor of Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file. Lastly, I would.
A little shocking that he has no reaction to that. No flinch, nothing. I'd be interested to have a body language expert review this. I know there are some videos out there which I haven't even had the chance to take a look at, but I would like to. I think it would be interesting to see what they pick up on Tyler in this moment. I'm just a little shocked at how nonchalant the text messages were, how his biggest concern was retrieving the rifle as if he was going to go back to his everyday life. I'm worried that my grandpa's going to find out that I took the rifle and I used it. You allegedly confessed to murdering someone and you're concerned about a rifle. Make it make sense. We'll watch a little bit more of this. I won't rehash all of it because I'm sure a lot of you have already watched this.
Just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing these charges within 5 days once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate to the defense as soon as possible.
Okay, so some people are kind of asking, how will this move along? So this is the preliminary hearing. He's not going to make any comment on his plea. Not going to say a word because it could be used against him. So he is going to have a hearing again soon on the 29th. And the judge is going to decide, is there sufficient evidence to move forward with the trial? We have text messages, we have a gun, we have DNA, we have fingerprints, we have video, we have thousands of witnesses, we have parents, we have roommates. I think we're good to go, don't you? So the next step is going to be where Robinson is going to enter a plea. Now, this is where it could shut everything down and he could plead guilty. And we might not go through the whole trial. We might not see a trial play out and unfold. Both sides are going to have to, prosecution and defense are going to have to exchange their evidence with each other. That could mean the rifle itself, the DNA evidence, those text messages that we were just talking about, videos, affidavits, anything that they would bring up in trial, Robinson's team needs to know about. So the defense might file motions to suppress some evidence. For example, let's say they entered his home and searched in an unlawful manner, which did not happen. Then maybe that could be an issue they could bring up at that court appearance. Or could they challenge any confessions that were made? But as you heard, Robinson is not cooperating with police. That doesn't mean he's being unruly when he's locked up. That means he's not speaking about the case. And any attorney will tell you whether you're innocent or guilty, don't talk. They may even tell you not to make phone calls because those phone calls are recorded. They are public record. The media and the public can make a request, a FOIA, to hear those calls, hear those conversations. That is not good for you if you plan to go to trial. So there's going to also be, I don't even think we'll get to that point where we have trial preparation. What do you guys think? That is just my thoughts. We already know what the charges are. Charlotte says those text messages between Tyler and Twigs are weird. And I think they are. I'm wondering, like you said, did Twigs know this is a possibility? Is it something they talked about doing? Did they talk about that it could happen? They probably recommended no text. Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of evidence, guys. It's not looking good for him. It sounds like there was planning involved, but the execution of the aftermath was not planned out well. So he may try to make some type of a defense that there was no premeditation. But in the text message, you just said you were planning this for weeks. In the handwritten letter, which obviously we are going to probably be doing a handwriting analysis where Robinson writes this exact letter out and they're going to compare it to the note that was found under the keyboard. And Charlotte's saying. Kids don't text like that. Twigs has to know something. There had to be some type of discussion, right? Because when you say you had the chance and the opportunity to do it, it makes it sound like this was a discussion that the two of you maybe had, even if it was in passing, if it was in a joke. It sounds like the discussion was had. It will be interesting to see whether or not this goes to trial. All of the discovery will be laid out, and I do believe that will be video interviews with Twigs. We're eventually going to see these interviews that were conducted and what is said. So,
Thank you, Mr. Grander. Mr. Robinson, what I also want to do is you have the right to have the charges read that you stand charged of, and I wish to read those to you at this time.
no reaction. Just
Thank you.
kind of sitting there.
Mr. Robinson, for count 1, aggravated murder, a capital felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-5-202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty or pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years. That may be for life.
Okay, I won't play all of this because we kind of already read those charges out loud, and I don't want this, to be too repetitive. We will kind of skip to the end. I don't know about you, but I did not watch the end of this, so I am interested to see if there were any kind of last minute comments that were interesting, if he made some type of statement at the end.
It will be a waiver hearing, and I will be the judge assigned to this case. Mr. Robinson, I invite you to join us at that time.
I do want to know, what are your thoughts on this judge? I feel he's being very kind. I feel he's being very thorough. I feel just the vibe I'm getting from this judge, he wants to be very careful that Robinson is getting a fair trial. Now, where do you move if they do try to say, well, too many people in this county know about the case? Where do you move this case when you have something this big? That is always something I've started to wonder. The more we have global media coverage online on a case, where can you move something where no one's heard about it and give someone a fair trial?
Is there anything further, counsel?
No, Your Honor, we'll have counsel appointed by then. Thank you.
Mr. Grander, anything further?
One item, just for clarification, Your Honor, the hearing on the 29th, is that in person or WebEx?
Thank you. That is a great question. It will be via WebEx.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right. I want to thank all parties for being here, and this concludes this hearing at this time. Court is in recess.
All right.
Okay, so I definitely plan to continue to cover this, you guys, and I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll hang on. Please feel free to email me if anything comes up to you and you're like, hey, I want you to take a look at this. I do love digging around on Reddit. I am a fact checker. I am a records requester. I'm a former journalist if you're new to my channel, so I like to do things by the book, but I also do like to dig around and see what people are saying. I like to go on these Discord channels and see what the conversation was, if you're able to access those, or go on Reddit and see what people are saying. I find it interesting to get different takes from different people. Yes, that's a good point about the Gacy case. That was huge, huge. I mean, same with the Ted Bundy case. Today, people are still talking about the Ted Bundy case. So that is something I would love to talk to about with a legal expert. I'm also in the works of trying to book some guests again. It's been a hot minute since I have been making videos on YouTube. I kind of took the summer to work on projects here in Atlanta in the film industry. That's been fun, and I'll be able to talk about that later. But I love that, Charlotte. Go down the rabbit hole. I love doing it, and I love that you guys do too. I have such a cool group of subscribers. So I love sharing this information. I love having these conversations with you guys. I'm going to cut it short tonight. I think you can tell my voice is a little raspy, but I did a project this week that involved Shaquille O'Neal. That's all I can say about it. And there was a lot of screaming going on, so I lost my voice. Can I do on Jared Lee? Yeah, I'll take a look at this. I'll do some digging and see what I can find. I love talking about new cases. A lot of subscribers came because I was talking about the Watts case. I do talk about it still, but there's really not that much to talk about anymore. So I've moved on to, we started talking about the Travis Decker case. We were just talking about this case the other night. I like to hop around and jump around. I like to revisit old cases that I covered in my career in the past. Cases like Jodi Arias, Scott Peterson, things like that. So I hope you will join. January 8th is when it happened. I will take a look. So please, if you're not subscribed already, you guys, please subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up so this can go out into the algorithm. I haven't been on in so long that I don't think my videos are doing as well as they were before. And that's okay, because I'm just here to have fun with you guys and chat. Yes, and I was covering Gypsy Rose for a hot minute, and then I got a little sidetracked with summer. We all have to take some time for having a mental health break, because true crime can be so intense, right? And negative, because it's tragic. So it's always good to kind of take a little break. And I was doing some meditation videos on here, and I do plan to continue to post those. So we'll have a good mix of true crime conversation and self-care meditation. So I hope to see you guys back soon. And next time, I hope I have my voice back. So yeah, Charlotte, it gets heavy. That's a good way to describe it. So thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you next time.